Welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. The Supreme Court on Thursday blocking the Biden administration from enforcing its sweeping vaccine or test requirements for large private companies. So what does that mean for the little guy, for all the employees out there? On a bring in employment attorney, Joshua Black. Joshua, thanks for being with us here on the show.
Hi, Daytona. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions surrounding this move by the Supreme Court. Let's start off first with which sector this is affecting. So it's affecting private employers and also those healthcare workers, too. They didn't get this blocked. They still have vaccine mandates that are in place. Can you just kind of simplify this for us?
Absolutely. You're right. There's two different groups of employees who are affected by the ruling. The Supreme Court ruled on two separate vaccine mandate issues yesterday, one being the OSHA mandate and the other the Health and Human Services mandate. So the OSHA mandate, if you recall, is the one that applies to employers. Any employer that has 100 or more employees, the OSHA mandate required that those employers have their employees either vaccinated or submit to a weekly testing and mask mandate. That was ruled, that was turned down. It was overturned by the Supreme Court. They ruled against that mandate and held that it was not within OSHA's power to do so. Means for those of us who might work at a company who was only enforcing a mandate because of that, it may change. Employers still have the liberty to choose to enforce their own mandate, and certainly state governments can enforce mandates within their own state as well. But it would be something that is no longer required for those employers by the federal government. So that was the court's ruling yesterday on OSHA mandate. The separate mandate relates to healthcare workers and those who work in hospitals or work with patients of Medicare or that mandate was the court held in a 5-2 that mandate was within the realms of what was legal and reasonable.
Okay, so what you're saying here is technically employers can still institute their own mandates. It's just that now it's not coming from the top down. It's not coming from the federal government saying that it's required. And if you didn't do it, then you would be hit with possibly, what would you be hit with? What was the backlash from the federal government, from OSHA, if you didn't comply?
So previously, there was threats of fines and potentially other negative actions being taken against your business if you were out of compliance. Now currently, there's no threat of that. So it's really back to an employer's decision to decide what they feel is best for their workforce. And if you're in an at-will employment state, which most folks are, typically that comes back down to the idea of, this is what my employer is offering me, and do I want to take it or do I not? And is there some kind of compromise perhaps we can come to? Any kind of mandate that's still on the books at your employer should still be allowed to have exception, right? For people that have medical issues where they can't be vaccinated or religious objections. Even mandate policies that stand should still have those types of objections available to employees.
Got it. Yeah, so that still stands. So just to, again, reinforce this, yesterday, private employers, the Biden vaccine mandate, well, that was blocked for them from the federal level. For healthcare workers, it still has been approved by the Supreme Court for the mandates. Federal contractors, they're awaiting a ruling from the Supreme Court, so more to come on that. And then federal employees, it's been in effect since November 22nd, so this is nothing new for them. These mandates have been put in place. The federal contractors, I thought, was really interesting. It's still a decent amount of people, and mind you, these private employers, that's about 84 million Americans. So this is a pretty substantial ruling for a lot of workers.
You're right, Daytona, and that was in fact one of the things the court considered when determining whether this was reasonable. When the OSHA mandate was evaluated, it was about, as you say, 84 million employees who were likely impacted by that decision. You compare that to the Health and Human Services mandate, that's folks who are in the medical field, and that only accounts for a significant less number. I want to say that it's 10 million. It's something that falls much lower. So that's part of what the court looked at, and they tried to determine how broadly reaching is this, because that's always a concern, is overreach. The narrower we can tailor something, the more likely it is to comply with the guidelines that have been set.
Right, exactly. After this ruling came down from the Supreme Court, President Biden immediately started advocating to employers to continue to do the, quote, right thing and require the measures apart from what the Supreme Court is saying. So we know there's going to be that push from the federal government, even if the Supreme Court is going in the opposite direction. You're an employment attorney. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been reaching out to you, asking questions, confused about what their rights are in the workplace when it comes to these mandates. What are those most asked questions, those frequently asked questions, and what else do you think people should know as they head into the workplace, either actually physically or even at home too?
Great questions. People ask us a lot of different questions about the vaccine mandate and about how they can receive an accommodation so that they don't have to partake. That's really kind of still the central question that I get asked is, what are the options for those of us who don't want it, who don't feel that it's the best option for our body, because of our health or because of our spiritual beliefs? There is accommodation processes available for those folks. And so that would be the number one thing I would say that folks should know and understand, is that if you're still in a process where your employer is about to implement this, or if they've had it on hold but they decide to move forward, you should talk to an attorney about an accommodation if you feel that you would fall into one of those categories. Another thing that people should remember, of course, is that these kinds of mandates and health requirements can come down from different agencies, not just the federal government. Of course, Congress can enact laws. That's not typically something that happens very quickly. We may see agency actions like this OSHA action come again in a different way, maybe in a less broad sense, maybe something that's tailored more specifically after hearing what it is the court had to say about it. So I would say it's not something that's going away. Certainly, I think that folks should continue to take best practices and be safe in the workplace, and continue to be kind to fellow coworkers. We're all going through this together. And if you feel that your employer is in any way infringing on your rights, if you feel that they're still pushing the mandate, and for instance, they're using this federal mandate as the reason, you can talk to a lawyer and they would be able to help you out.
Yeah, you guys definitely are the experts. I'm sure you're having to stay on your toes with things that are changing and constantly adapting. So sure, this won't be the last time that we speak. Joshua Black, an employment attorney out in Arizona. Reach out to him if you're having questions or problems in your workplace.
Thank you, Daytona.